Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to FTRL for week 10 of GT20. Join us on FTRL in association with Accelerate and Bristol Street Motors. It's the final week of our GT1 division, so championships are up for grabs, and to help me get through this tonight, as it's the first stream I've done for about 2 years, is Mikey. So, evening Mike.
Good evening, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too badly. Little bit nervous, as I say. haven't done this for a while, so there's going to be a few teething problems, I'm sure, but we'll get through it together.
Yep, absolutely. And if the racing is as good as it was last week, then I think it's going to be a good night, mate.
Good stuff, good stuff. Right, so as we say, championships are up for grabs, and in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty much T. Smith's to lose, as I'm pretty sure he only needs a top 10 finish in this race to secure it.
Yeah, I think we all know T. Smith. He's very, very consistent. If not anything else, but he's also very, very quick. So I think the boys are going to find it tough to keep him, towards the back of the grid tonight.
Yeah. Now, I've heard the guys saying in their practices that they've seen a lot of rain in their practice sessions, but as we've seen in as the season's gone through, that doesn't always play into the race night.
No, so we've obviously turned on the whole random weather thing for this season, but in the grand scheme of things, I think we've had a little bit of cloud here and there, a very small smattering of rain at all top of this last week, and that was about it. So I can't imagine today's going to get much better.
Right, well, the Ferrari boys set the early pace just there with a couple of mid-35s, but Chubbs has gone straight to the top of the timesheets with a 35.1, immediately eclipsed by Whitchell, who's broken the 34 barrier.
Yeah, I've heard the Genesis this week is pretty strong all round, I think, so they could be the ones to beat.
Yeah, well, that Group 4 Peugeot's not looking too shabby either. Now, one name of note that I've noticed flicking through here is the return of Ishmael. He raced with us for a season or two a couple of seasons back, so it's nice to see. It's nice to see him back. Yep. So
I think the calibre of GT1 drivers, especially as we move into GT21, which we'll probably talk about a little bit later on. But with GT1 next year, it's looking ridiculously strong. We've got Crew in the chat just saying, can we turn off the music?
Yeah, I've turned it off a couple of times already. It keeps turning itself back on.
It is off. Music replay?
Yeah, now I've lost all sound. Right, hopefully that's got it.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if
as I say, I've turned it off 3 times and it keeps coming back, but at the end of quali it seems as though Whitchell's hung on to it with that 34.8 he set with his first lap.
No worries. Right, how's that going? I've turned my mic up a little bit. Mitchell's looking quick in this one, as well as Captain Chubbs and Smith, although he's been saying that this week's not going to be his best because it doesn't really suit the Lambos. Still up there in P3.
Yeah, well, Tom's on a lap. I don't know if he's improving on it. It looked a little wide out of the penultimate corner. Aaron's improved. And Tom's got himself... Yeah, Tom was wide. He got himself a penalty. Has Pagani got anything in the tanks that comes out the final corner? Can he do anything? No.
He must have had some kind of incident.
Yeah, I realised his lap time towards
Yeah,
as he crossed the line
almost
there. Yeah.
10 seconds over the over his best. So, well, the Witchell pole.
Yeah, a Witchell and Chubbs front row. Now, wasn't there a Witchell and Chubbs front row last week and Chubbs immediately spun out of turn one, or was that not Witchell that was with him?
I can't remember, but I know that Chubbs is beginning to get a bit of a name for himself in terms of a lap one spin. So yeah, I mean, keep an eye out for that.
So, who do we think is looking good to take this one?
I mean, it's hard to look past those front two. Aaron's been ridiculously consistent all season, and then obviously you got the likes of Pagani and T. Smith. You can't, even if they're having a bit of a bad week, or they say they're having a bit of a bad week, you can't really look past them, can you? Because they are that calibre of driver.
Well, Tom's obviously got the championship in mind, and he knows what he needs to do in this one.
He doesn't need to do anything silly. Doesn't need to move, go for moves, although he might end up wanting to anyway.
Yeah,
we've got 15 drivers tonight.
We have.
Fantastic for numbers. Absolutely brilliant.
I think if Chubbs can avoid his early lap spin, he may be in with a good shout for this one, because I think that that Peugeot of Witchell is going to munch its front tyres towards the end of this, being a front wheel drive.
I'm going to go for a Chubbs win. He's overdue one. He's a very quick boy, is our Chubbs, but he does have those spins early on. But yeah, try and knock that on the head, and I think he can win this.
So we've got Peteman thinking that SBY is going to win this from P12. I mean, I'd love to see it.
SBY doing the full-on, almost the first challenge.
Yep, Crew's gone for a Witchell win, a Tom second and an Aaron third.
That's fantastic. We've got 18 of you watching so far. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. Here we go.
So T. Smith currently running in fourth.
Oh, Crew is unsafe. Sorry. How you doing, Andre?
Witchell's managed to put himself out a bit of a gap over Aaron.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds already.
Chubb just managed to avoid his lap one spin, and Pagani's going for a move on Tom. It was a late dive, but he got it to stick. Tom being cautious, trying to stay out of trouble, and he's allowed Pine through as well.
Yeah.
But he's now got Ross behind him now. Is Ross going to play rear gunner for him, make sure that no one else comes through?
I can imagine so. The two of them act like a married couple, but I think there's a lot of love there in the underneath. I think there's a lot of love that Ross doesn't like to admit. He'll definitely play the teammate today.
We've got a gaggle of cars scrapping over 12th, 13th and 14th. Joker's pushed Panda wide and waited.
Yeah, fair play. That's the Lee Cole.
And Lee bringing up the rear. Chubbs looks like he's closed the gap on Aaron slightly, as we've got Pine side by side with Pagani on their way up to the hairpin. He's opened the door for T. Smith. Pagani's off the road.
Pine picks himself up half a second penalty as well.
He has.
Did he have that before? Turn two?
I think he did, so that will get served at the end of this lap. Tom goes for a move.
Just looking at the mini-map, it looks like Rich was just extending that lead at the front.
Yeah, oh, and Pagani's off into the gravel.
Oh.
How he's kept that from going round completely, I don't know. But yeah, Pine's serving his penalty, and he's actually got a bit lucky there, because with the Pagani, T. Smith, Ross coming together, he's managed to hold that 4th place.
He has.
And Chubbs has got past Aaron just as I was checking on what was happening with Pine. But Aaron's going to have a look back.
Yeah, Peteman, I don't know how he saved that. It really didn't look like he was a runner. 3.8, 3.9 seconds now, the gap between Richard and Captain Chubbs, with these two battling.
Yeah, Richard doing what he needs to do and checking out before any form of tyre wear becomes an issue. Aaron's having a look at Chubbs into the hairpin, he's got the inside line.
Driving by both.
Good clean move.
Yeah, I can see this being a bit of a pattern.
Yeah, this will probably go on for a little while.
Yeah. Another 7 laps.
Aaron's going to make Chubbs go the long way, and he's not going to get anything out of that.
Yeah, Peteman, he seems unstoppable, but I think Simon mentioned that Peugeot does have tyre wear that's worse than the cars around him. So towards the end of the race, you might see him drop back towards the rest of the grid, but if he can build up that gap, he might be alright.
Ishmael pulls off line to serve a penalty. Is he going to keep that P9? Graham going to get round the outside of him? Not quite.
Go on, Graham. Picking up my teammate for the GT1. Like I say, we'll probably go through a little bit of that.
We'll probably talk about that a
on.
little bit in the interlude, I think, between the races, perhaps.
We've got a 45 to 50 minute race to get over as well. So we'll
probably need some filler.
Yeah. Start getting your comms questions in.
We've got the two Vipers at the back of the field battling with one another.
There's a big gap between that kind of main gaggle of cars at the front. Obviously there's a gap between Witchell and second.
So Witchell's now extended that to 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yeah. You might need that gap towards the end of the race.
Aaron's still got Chubbs glued to his rear wing, but with all this going on, Aaron has a big twitch.
Yeah, again, well saved.
Yeah, with this going on between these two, Pine's closing in, and he's bringing Tom with him. Pine's got another penalty, and I don't think he's going to have the fortune he had with the previous one.
No, you should.
Tom's too close, but yeah, it should only be one position.
If you can just stick, as long as he sticks within just the slipstream of Tom, then I think he'll be all right going forward. But he's now got Pagani closing in. Yeah, Chubbs is going well, almost halfway through the race, and he's still sitting in a podium position. So keep your head down, keep going. Seven seconds now, that gap. Every time we go back to that gap, it just seems to have increased by another second.
Yeah, it's just a second a lap, it seems, at the moment.
Yeah.
But with Aaron and Chubbs battling, they're only doing high 35s, low 36s, whereas Witchell is banging 34s out every lap.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we need to think about as well is, although it's all but done for the title,
Chubbs,
you know.
Chubbs, where's he gone?
Oh no, Chubbs.
I think he just outbroke himself and he had to get wide and now, oh
He's
dear.
almost wiped out Ross. Oh, get your head down, Chubbs. Come on, mate.
Yeah,
So
I
one of
think
the things we need to think about is that I know Tom's pretty much got it wrapped up with the Drivers' Championship, but we've also got a very, very close battle between the Ferrari boys for P2. There's only 4 points in them. Which right now, I believe it would bring them into a dead heat coming into the final race.
Spicy.
Mm.
We know how much they'd love to beat one another for the bragging rights in the party.
Oh, absolutely.
Aaron's already been giving Pagani the banter as he's the #1 driver.
Yeah. It's been an ongoing thing for the entire season.
So Chubbs, after his detour, has dropped down to P7.
He looks like he's frustrated with himself. He's weaving down the straight, but
SBY has fought himself up into P8.
he's what's that? A 5 position gain he's done there, a 4 position gain.
What was he? A P12 start, wasn't he?
Yeah, so only over 8 positions, and he's done the last, the 12th to 1st change.
Panda's got league hold for company over 11th and 12th.
I love that Aston Martin livery. He's done a very good job there. I mentioned it last week. It's one of my favourites on the grid. I mean, obviously that Napa livery is spectacular. Whoever made that one has done a really good job with that. But of course, I think the best livery on the grid is the Bristol Street Motors that the Ferrari boys are repping.
Yeah, and we're not just saying that because of the affiliation.
No,
at all.
Not at all. But it does look just like it would in real life. I think it's such an accurate representation of it.
Yep. Well, shout out to Zom for his creation.
Yep, he's a bit special when it comes to doing these liveries as Zom.
Now, I was about to say Pineapple's putting Tom under some real pressure, but he's picked himself up another penalty. He's had some good pace in that Lexus in this race.
Well, to keep up with the likes of Aaron and Tom, and he's still ahead of Pagani. Is no mean feat. So
yeah,
if he can knock those pineapples in here, if he can knock those penalties on dead. Then I think he could actually move forward and possibly move away from Tom, because Tom's not been enjoying it this week, especially on this track. I don't believe he's enjoying it particularly at the next one either.
No, but his rain dances haven't helped him this week, as it's brightened up quite considerably now.
Yeah, you can tell by just how bright the track is now. It's it started quite gloomy, and now all of a sudden the blue skies have arrived. Like I say, we're going to be very, very unlikely to experience any kind of rain.
Yeah, Mitchell's he's in cruise control at the front at the moment.
Yeah, no silly mistakes, and he's got this one wrapped up.
Right. Got Ross and Chubbs has got his head back down. He's closed into the back of Ross, who's now got a penalty. So Chubbs should be promoted up to P6. It looks like he's not going to wait for the penalty to be served either.
Nope. He might as well go for it. No, Ross isn't fighting it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think Ross knows he's going to serve that penalty anyway, so there's not much point. Meanwhile, we've got SBY and Ishmael in the background.
That looked like a lovely move from Sean there at the switchback.
Well, I actually think Sean was ahead of him.
Oh, was it a defensive move?
I think it may have been a defensive move, but
nice.
It's one that's had to carry on.
Oh, wiggle there from Ishmael.
And still Sean's having to defend.
Yep, and Graham's there ready to pick up any pieces.
Yep, and just behind this you've got Lee still stuck to the back of Will.
If you, I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I feel like if you were going to give an award for the most improved driver for this season in GT1, who would it be?
I don't really think there would be any debate if we looked at the man that's currently in P9.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's come on leaps and bounds this season.
He's got himself a bit of a reputation this season as the tyre whisperer in the Group 3 races, because whereas a lot of the guys are doing 2 stops, he's just been making these 1-stop races work.
Well, that's how he got his win at Watkins Glen, wasn't it? It was an absolutely phenomenal.
It is indeed, yeah.
Tyre wear masterclass from Graham. We kept thinking, is he going to pick this up? Is he going to pick this up? And he extended the life of them. Oh, look at this, 3 wide. They've all made it round.
Yep, well, what was a 3-car battle for P8 has now become a 5-car train.
Old school FTRL train.
Things we love in FTRL, trains and gaggles.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we've got here. As they go through turn 4, 2 by 2.
Yeah, everybody loves Graham. It's unsafe in the chat saying Graham, great lad he is. Oh dear, Lennon. We all love a gag. Oh dear.
Right, let's just go and quickly check in on what's going on towards the sharp end. And it's pretty much as you were. Although Chubbs is closing in rapidly on Pagani and Pine.
Yep, Pagani's got a penalty to serve at the end of the next lap. Oh, another big snap from Pagani that he saved. Just caught that on the edge of the shot there. Oh, Captain Chubbs, by the end of this lap, if he keeps his... I really don't want to jinx him here, but if he keeps his car pointing the right way, he'll find himself up into 4th.
Yep, which, given his earlier problem, is a decent recovery.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Witchell, barring any freak errors, has got this one sewn up.
Yep.
Aaron looks like he's got P2 covered.
Yeah, and I think that would see Smith as our GT1 champion for the year.
Yeah, I think it will.
Season.
So let's go and catch Witchell taking his race victory. He rounds the penultimate corner.
Yeah, very good drive. Once he got clear, and that was it. Job done. It was all about the tyre wear at the end of it, and obviously that's not been an issue. Been very consistent, just a casual drop off on every lap. But
so congratulations to Witchell on a race win. Aaron's going to come across the line in P2, but behind him, Victory Weave
champion.
Is our champion.
You know, it's getting a bit boring now, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So we've got it out of the way.
Again. Oh, this is close.
Here we go. This is. Yep. So Ishmael got P8 in the end. Panda managed to find a way through to P9. Sean rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, good job from everybody there. There didn't seem to be any kind of major incidents, but
yep. So that's one championship settled. You were the man with the maths. How does that leave us for the teams?
Let's have a look. So, what did Pagani get in that race again?
We'll have a look. I think he ended up, was it P5 or P6 with that penalty?
If it was P6, I believe they're going to be tied going into the last race. If it was P5, then Pagani will have the edge by a point going into the last race. So I think whatever happens here, whoever wins out of Aaron and Pagani in this race gets the bragging rights.
And what about the battle between Ferrari and Lamborghini?
Let's have a look. So there was 24 points at the beginning of the night, and we've just had T. Smith pick up, what is that, 13, 12 points, something like that. I don't...
Basically, it's not done yet, is it?
I don't think it's quite done, but I think barring Ferrari 1-2 type thing, and then Lamborghini, you know, finishing out, the two Lamborghinis finishing outside the top 10, I don't think it's going to be, sorry, the other way around, anything other than a Lamborghini 1-2 and a Ferrari outside the top 10. I think Ferrari have got this sewn up. Like, it's not done by any means, but I do think it'll be quite difficult to make up those kind of points.
Yeah, what the Lamborghini boys are hoping is that Aaron and Pagani decide to go full Vettel and Webber in Turkey.
Yeah.
Just drill each other.
This is where you need Jonesy. Jonesy's been the kind of standings and mathematician for this GT1 season, or at least he was for GT2. And he was very good at kind of knowing what points people needed for what positions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, now we head on to St. Croix or St. Croix. I don't even know how you say this.
I think I actually googled this last night, and it appears it's St. Croix.
St. Croix, okay.
I'll go with whatever Google says. I'll take their word for it. Now, what I've heard about this one, tyre wear is going to be a huge factor. It's a long lap. There's a lot of long radius, high, medium speeds corners on this track, and I've already seen in practice on the Lamborghinis that the left rear tyre takes an absolute pounding, because Tom was saying they've got to really lean on it to get any pace out of it.
Yeah, this is going to be this is what I found exciting about the race last week, was that the different strategies that everybody was using really did make it quite interesting to see how the race even finished. You've got the likes of Graham here, who are, like we said before, are incredibly good on his tyres. This could be this could be the perfect race for Graham.
It could be. The only thing that works against him in that Aston is that it's not the best thing in a straight line. And as I say, it's a long lap, and there's a lot of straight bits on this track, so he may find himself vulnerable to that. But if he keeps his tyres in,
if he's somehow able to pull off a one stop around here and everybody else is having to pull off a two, he might be able to make up that time in the without needing to do that extra pit.
well, Peatman's got a lot of love for this track. I'm sure there's many drivers that would oppose that opinion.
I've not really got much experience around this track.
I think it all depends on what you find yourself driving around here. Some cars will work around it better than others. I mean, that goes for most tracks, but this one particularly.
I'm right in thinking there is actually a longer version of this track, even though this track is long enough.
This is, believe it or not, the shortest layout of this track.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there are two other layouts that are longer.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So this is I
think
plus 2 minute lap, right?
Yeah, I think the longest layout of this is in a Group 3 is about 250. So you know, it's not quite Le Mans levels, or Nürburgring levels, but it's long enough.
Yeah, it's definitely long enough. Yeah, 100%. And these boys are going to have a full 45 to 50 minutes of it. We've got 21 of you watching now, guys. Can we smash that like button? With everything we've got going on at the moment, it will really kind of help, possibly boost the numbers, get a few more subscribers in, all that kind of stuff. That'd be great if you wouldn't mind doing that. I feel like a right content creator. Should be getting underway in a minute.
Yep, so as with every GT3 race, it will be a reverse grid from the previous race result, which means that Joker's going to have pole position for this one. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the tyre wear on this one. Could you imagine Zach doing this race?
He's not the best with tyre wear, but then neither am I. I am notoriously bad for tyre wear.
No, and I think even Aaron, by his own admission, he's always said that he's struggled with his tyre wear in these. He's never been one for fuel saving or tyre preservation. He'd always be one to send it.
Yep. Aaron and T. Smith getting a bit close on the bridge. Or as Tom likes to call it, the bidge. Sorry about that, my TV was about to turn off, so I had to try and find the TV remote. Unsafe is going for a Aaron win, a T. Smith P2 and a Graham podium, so ain't a bad shout to be fair, because I think, yeah, like I say, if Graham's got the whole tyre wear thing locked down, then that could prove the difference between him and everybody else, so... She's just trying to get some brownie points with Owen.
Is he brown nosing?
Yeah, a little bit. Who else has got their predictions out there? Chuck them in there and we'll see what you've got. I think I'm going to go for a... I'm going to put it out. I think Graham's going to get his second win today.
Yeah, I'm strongly feeling a podium at the absolute minimum for him.
Here we go, rolling grid start.
So, as I said, Joker will lead us away as we wait for the countdown. And we're underway for the final time in season 20.
It's been a great season. This should be a great race to finish it off.
They will file through the first corner. It was a twitchy Genesis. But everyone seems to have made it through the first couple of corners relatively unscathed, as Tom has a big old slide out of turn 3.
Everybody in close proximity.
Oh, that was a very wide Dodge Viper out of the chicane there.
Always going for a dominant Ross win. I'd actually really like to see that, if I'm honest. He's a funny character as Ross, but he's one of the nicest people, especially on track. He'll never kind of make a lunge or anything like that. I think he gets a lot of bad luck with our Ross. So I'd love to see a Ross win.
Yeah, well, Pagani found himself right in the pack there, and true to Pagani fashion, he's sliding that Ferrari around as they all try and slipstream each other down the back straight here.
This looks like absolute chaos.
Yeah, well, it's a very wide track, so
yeah,
picking a line in traffic. But it should all sort itself out before too long.
There's a little bit of a gap between Lee and Graham, it looks like, up ahead. I'm wondering whether Graham's just taking it a little bit easier just to nurse those tyres.
Yeah, well, Joker led for the first lap, but Corvus is straight through.
Well, Peteman's going for a Sean win, SPY win, and he's going for you and me to jump on the podium. Peteman, I don't end up on the podium that often, but if I could end up in a GT1 podium, I'd be over the moon. Especially if I'm not racing.
So, well, here we go. Bit of a battle pack towards the back with 5 or 6 cars involved. Witchell, Pine, T. Smith.
Pine's rear end clips the barrier. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say today. Top 10 still only separated by like just under 5.5 seconds. That's what we love about these reverse grids. You tend to get the kind of slightly slower guys obviously starting towards the front of this race, and then we're racing closer for the first half of the race all because of it.
Well, at the front, Joker's got himself back into the lead.
He's sniffing around as well. Graham's actually closing back in, I think, on that top 3.
Yep.
There's a little bit of battering that's going on.
Lee's got the inside for turn 1, and that's a position gain for the Aston Martin.
Yep. You know what, Lee could be a good shout for a win here as well, you know. He really could be. It's like the Aston seems to be a lot better on its tyre wear. I know obviously Graham is a bit of a master when it comes to doing it, but the Aston does seem to be better on its tyre wear compared to the other cars. So if, one thing we need to look at as well actually is the tyres that everybody's on. There are a lot of mediums, but I think there are a few softs dotted about.
Well, that's a very wide Tom. Oh, he's gonna. Oh, I thought he was gonna clip that barrier then.
Yeah,
that was close.
Just rushed it.
Lamborghini already appearing to struggle.
Ferrari again as well. That's really stepping its back out.
Well, and Will as well in the Genesis having a big slide at the end of the bridge.
Should we clip the barrier as well, just coming out of that right-hander. Dusty Fossil. Carl must have had a bit of an incident earlier.
Yeah, but he's
just a little bit off the back.
It's the only car that I've noticed to this point on the soft tyre. Just having a quick look through the rest of the field.
There was one towards the front.
Yeah,
Corvus. Is Lee? No,
and Joker.
Is Lee on the mediums?
Lee's on the mediums. Yep,
He's
everyone's
going
on. So everyone's on the mediums apart from Joker, Corvus, and Dusty Fossil.
Lee's doing well to keep that gap just to about a second, Joker.
Corvus almost rubs it up against the wall there, using every inch of track.
Just by looking at Corvus's tyre wear, I'm assuming you're probably going to get about maybe 9, maybe 10 laps out of the softs. So it could be just a simple one stop for most people.
Well, I was hearing that they were struggling to get that out of a medium.
Jeez.
Tom was very seriously debating whether this was going to have to be a 2-stop.
Every time I see a Ferrari, it tends to be sideways.
Yeah, and it's
somehow they catch it.
It's normally Pagani.
Yeah. Peterman asked Coms, what's the tyre rules on this one? So the tyre rules are, you can use all 3 tyres. You must use the mediums at least once throughout the course of the race. So you can do two stints on the mediums, or you can do a soft and medium, or you can do a medium and a hard. You must use the mediums at least once.
Oh, Pagani's into the wall,
and then into Tom.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not sure Pagani could have done much about hitting Tom.
Yeah,
bounced off that wall.
Yeah. It seems like Pagani came off a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
P8.
But what that's done is look where Pagani is now.
Yeah.
So that Ferrari inter-team battle.
Literally pushing each other around at the moment.
And in watching all of that, I've just noticed that Corvus has gone from the front to the back.
Oh.
He's down in P12. So I've missed what's happened to him.
He didn't pit, did he? No.
No, he didn't. Oh. I'm wondering if something like that's happened to him, as he's just... I say he was wide out at the final corner on the previous lap. I'm just wondering if that tyre's giving him all it's got to give.
Yeah, keep your head down, Corvus, keep going.
Well, Chubbs and Ishmael doing battle. Which brought T. Smith to join the party.
Now, Goy, if you're still out there, you have another question like you had last week, your question of wisdom. He asked a very, very, what's the word, sensible question from our Goy, did he? And it took me by surprise, but yeah, I don't know if anybody's got any more questions like that out there.
We've got a move for the lead. Lee's jumped ahead of Joker on the bridge.
So that the crossover between the soft and the medium tyres has happened then.
Yep, there doesn't look like there's much left on that soft tyre.
No.
So the medium guys now, I think, are going to start to reap the benefits of their tyre choice.
Won't be long before the soft runners start coming in. Unsafe. What do you both think of the new rules for the upcoming season? Yeah, we'll touch on GT21 probably in a little while. We'll let the first kind of pit stops unfold, because we don't want to start missing the strategy. But on the whole, I'm really excited for next season. But like I say, we'll probably touch on that in a little while. Is everybody going to come in this lap? Some of those softs are going to be screaming, I suppose, right now.
Where's Joker? There he is. Is he going to...
I won't be surprised if he stays out for one more lap.
Well,
Yeah,
he took a very early turn in for the final corner there. I thought so.
For that red bar.
Yeah, I think he knew he was about to get a bucket load of understeer, so he chucked it in early, and I think it gripped up maybe more than he was expecting. So the two Astons are going pretty well at the moment. Chubbs looks like I don't want to jinx him, but it looks like he's got his head back on after race one.
Yeah, sometimes all it takes is that kind of
very wide Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, sometimes all it takes is that 5-minute break between races 1 and 2, just to clear your head and think to yourself, right, fresh race, crack on. And hopefully that's what Chubbs has done. So yeah, like I say, he's going well.
Pagani's got to try and recover from what happened to him a couple of laps ago. Aaron's managed to put a couple of cars between himself and his teammate. A huge slide.
Oh, how did he have that again?
Well, it wasn't Pagani's slide that caught my eye, it was Sean's. And then Pagani had one out of sympathy, but whereas Pagani caught his, Sean wasn't quite so lucky.
I can't imagine that that Alpha is as easy to catch as the Ferrari.
Can confirm. So Chubbs has got himself ahead of Graham on this lap. And Lee's doing a pretty good job out front at the moment.
Yeah, he was right on the edge of that turn there. Still staying in.
Well, I don't think he had much of a choice there, as he was being overtaken by Chubbs.
Yeah, he might have had that pit entry blocked.
And behind him, Tom is making a move on Graham. Now Champion moves himself up.
Yeah, the tyre away from Graham is looking good. Surprise.
Well, look at Tom's.
Yeah. And then look at Graham's. That's a monstrous difference.
It's almost double. Yeah. And Witchells found himself past both of them. A very opportunistic move.
Yeah.
Graham trying to work his way back through.
It's a nice move from Graham to get back past Tom.
Yep. And Joker.
Gone. Oh, he did clip Graham as well on the exit. Totally unintentional. Racing isn't going over one of those things where you just kind of lose control of the car and someone else is the casualty.
Yep, and unfortunately that has dropped Joker all the way to the back of the field.
Yeah, I think he's going to be coming in at the end of this lap.
So, Chubbs has got an absolute flyer on at the moment.
He has indeed. Like you said, that Aston's not great in a straight line. That may have had quite a bit to do with it.
Yep, well...
And Chubbs moved up to the lead. Go on, Chubbs. Don't get me wrong, I love your lead, but you've had a number of wins. I'd love to see Chubbs get one. Long way to go in this one yet, though. Not even halfway through yet.
Yep, mate. The Aston and the Genesis are pretty even on their tyre wear as well, so these two should be able to. I would suggest they're going to one-stop this. They'll probably just bolt another set of mediums on lap 10 and go to the end.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing from this season is that because it's only the medium tyre that is mandatory, the different strategies you can go for are endless. I think obviously if it was a soft, then it would make things a little bit more complicated, but with it being the mediums, you can tend to stretch them out quite a lot more. And nobody really tends to go for the hard tyres because it's quite honestly, it's awful.
Yeah, you might as well bolt a set of concrete boots onto the car. Now, we've said how similar the tyre wear of the Aston Martin and the Genesis is as Tom power slides his way onto the bridge. The Lamborghini and the Ferrari have pretty much eaten their tyres in an identical fashion.
Yeah, that is almost uncanny.
Yeah, flicking from Aaron to Pagani, there's virtually no change as Pagani has another huge slide off the bridge.
What's count how many slides he's had that you don't even know that he catch?
With the amount of slides Pagani's had, I'm surprised he's got any rear tyre left at all.
Yeah. Sounds like he's doing it on purpose.
I think he's just having some fun.
Yeah, exactly. Putting on a shirt.
So yeah, the Vipers have bitten the bullet and got rid of those soft tyres.
Yeah, it was a brave call, but if it pays off, then obviously no one bats an eyelid. But when you have a spin or those tyres don't quite do as long as you want them to.
Right. Witchell's got the hooks into Lee.
He has.
Chubb just managed to pull a margin, which was all but eradicated Lee's.
And T. Smith before the race night began was telling me how he'd be happy with just a top 10, which obviously for Tom is usually a given.
Pagani has dived into the pits.
He's pulled the plug earlier, shall I say.
He's put the soft tyre on. That's an aggressive call from Pagani.
Can he stretch those 11 laps?
Given the tyre wear I saw in his mediums, I'm going to say no, but I've been wrong before.
I mean, if anybody can do it, I suppose Pagani can. He's one of our definitely one of our more experienced and fast racers.
You asked Goy as we look forward, which had a look at Lee, but nothing doing. You asked Goy if he had one of his intellectual questions.
I did.
One has appeared. With the GT1 drivers all in the same car for season 21, the driving should be even closer. We know the skill levels are to a very high standard. Who do you think will be the standout?
What a question. I'm loving this from you, bro. The next season is going to be a very interesting one because, like Goy said, everybody's going to be in the same car. But there's going to be a lot of different variables to next season. So for those who don't know, the next season is going to be a lot more of a team-based championship. We'll still have GT1, GT2, and we'll also have a GT3, but that is going to be separate to the team championship. So what we've done is for each team are going to have 2 GT1 and 2 GT2 drivers. You will then have a team-based championship with any points you accumulate on your individual divisions nights going towards that team's championship. Midway through the season we'll also have a special event which GT1 and GT2 drivers will share the same track, and at the end of the race, or at the end of the first 9 weeks of this 10-week championship, you'll have a if you are in the top 4 positions in the team, you will qualify for the grand finale, which essentially is a one race shootout to see who takes home the GT21 championship. It's going to be incredibly interesting, but I do think the standout drivers next season could be a couple of the original guys, like the usual OGs, so you've got the Toms, the Aarons and the Paganis. But I also do think that people like Graham and Chubbs could really have a great season next season if they get their heads down and put some practice in. So I don't really know much about Pine, but from what I've heard, he's a very, very quick driver. So, I mean, what do you think, Si?
I think from what we've seen the last couple of weeks, I think Witchell could very well be one of those guys that finds himself at the top as well. I mean, he's been battling at the front for most of his 3 weeks here. This is his third week, isn't it?
Right, it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting next season.
Yeah, just while we were discussing that, there's been 1 or 2 pit stops. Witchell's been in and put on another set of mediums. I was just looking at Chubbs. He's still going purple at the end of his stint, and he's going to have to box, not because of his tyre wear, but because of his fuel.
Now, if he can do a second stint, even anywhere near the same as what he's done his first stint, Chubbs could be in for a winner here.
So I imagine this is going to be everyone coming that hasn't already pitted coming in.
Keep an eye out for Pagani because he's been on softs for a couple of laps now.
Yeah. So Witchell and Pagani have already pitted, so these two are going to carry on round. Now, whereas Pagani was able to short fill his tank, Chubbs has had to put a full load in, and it's just brought him out ahead.
Has Witchell over filled his tank there, do you think? It strikes me that if Pagani's only had to put half in,
the fact
either means that he's
that's why I'm suggesting he's 2-stopping.
Yeah, might be why he's put this. That must be why he's put the softs on. Yeah, Croix. I do think Tom's will obviously still be towards the sharp end, but there are going to be some guys next season who are going to want to take that crown from him. Like we said when he won the last race,
Tom's got very close to that wall on the exit of the corner on the entry of the bridge again.
Really pushing the limit.
Yep, and having to ease out the throttle, it's allowed Ishmael through. He's actually made some time up in the pit stop. He's been able to put a little less fuel in, and it's saved him maybe a second. Interestingly, Graham's gone onto the soft tyre.
He has, and he's pretty much filled his tank.
Ishmael's on the soft tyre, Lee's on the soft tyre. So the guys that had that reduced level of wear on the mediums have maybe either taken a gamble or thought, you know what, maybe we can get a soft 9 lap seated finish.
You might be struggling, you might be running on rims by the end of it, but
I suppose it all depends on how hard you push it in these early couple of laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Pagani set the fastest lap of a 2:08, 2:08.5. He's flying. It's just how fast can he fly until he's got a pit again.
So, yeah, it looks like the Ferrari boys have gone for a split strategy here. I'm just wondering whether or not that incident Pagani had in the early laps has maybe influenced his strategy decision.
May well have done. You know, every spin or collision you have is going to affect the tyre wear just a little bit more. Just setting purple sectors. Speedy boy. He's setting those on mediums.
Yeah, now Pagani's clearly got the bit between his teeth at the moment, so if you're Chubbs, you've got to think or be slightly aware that he's on a different strategy to you and not to fight this if he goes for it.
yeah, I think if you're Chubbs right now, you probably let the faster car through. And yeah, hopefully Pagani can just drag you along a little bit quicker.
I mean, I say that I'm probably the worst person to be taking advice from, because as Aaron's said many times, I'll defend fresh air if I'm battling for a position. Don't care what strategy you're on. Pine, big twitch.
Oh, unlucky. Oh, I thought he was going to catch that for a minute.
He was actually very clever there.
Yeah.
Just letting the car roll and straighten itself back up.
Yeah.
That probably saved him a bit of time and maybe 1 or 2 positions.
Yeah, I think everybody knows right now, if that had been me, I would have kept it floored. And then the inevitable 3 spins that follow after it. Yeah, Chubbs, if you're Chubbs right now, you don't want to be battling, you want to just be coasting along, driving your own race, not worrying about everybody else who's potentially going to try and get past you because you're on a completely different strategy. Especially he's got Witchell bearing down and who's technically in P2 right now.
Just wondering how many laps Pagani has in that fuel tank.
That quarter of a tank, that can't be 7, can it?
Not a chance. I'm imagining that's probably going to be end of the next lap, or the lap after at the very most.
Yeah, especially such a long lap.
I've just seen it, yeah, and I completely concur.
Yep, there's nothing Aaron hates more than being overtaken by fresh air. Maybe racing me. Yep. Guy basically pushing Chubbs around now.
Yeah, I think that the problem Pagani's got is that Genesis is a bit of a weapon in a straight line. So while Pagani may have the grip level for the moment through the corners, as soon as they get it onto a straight, here he goes.
Pagani is doing exactly what I was just thinking he might end up doing. Because I think right now, I'm looking at the minimap, he might come out into some fresh air where he could just floor it, put those laps you know Pagani can do. And send it till the end of the race.
Yep. So we're looking. What's that? P10.
Yeah. But then he's going to have fresh rubber for the rest of the race. Not have to worry about fuel. And other people may end up starting, especially those people that did go on soft, they may end up starting to struggle.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, Mike, but you've called that absolutely spot on.
Yep. No, he's gonna have that fresh air now for maybe a lap or 2 before he comes up towards Panda.
Last week we raised a question about T. Smith's race IQ. Yep. Mikey's showing some race IQ.
That's the first time I have.
So what that does now is it just frees Chubbs up to just drive his race now. He's virtually free to run himself to the end. No mistakes.
No.
Because I believe he's got the car advantage over Witchell behind.
Has Chubbs got a GT1 win?
I honestly don't know. I can't remember one. Yeah, so these last 5 and a bit laps for Pagani are going to be full send.
Yep.
He's going to be running quali laps right now.
Yeah, you're going to see Pagani at his most fierce here because he's got nothing to lose and might as well send it.
He can see what he needs to get in front of.
You can see
that being his teammate.
Yep.
point from Connor there towards your IQ, Mike. It's a shame you can't use it towards your own races.
Oh, trust me, you're preaching to the choir, mate. A lot of the time it's not my IQ, it's just my talent level.
Joker's making a second visit to the pit lane.
Yep.
Here we go, Pagani's caught up to the back of Panda.
Only took a lap in the end.
Yep, I mean, he wasn't far behind when I looked half a lap ago, so
No.
I imagine when he goes for it, there won't be too much resistance from Will.
And technically this will be for position as well, so Will's not going to make it easy.
But a soft tyre, a determined Pagani.
Yep.
You'll be hard pressed. You'll be hard pressed to keep him behind you. Although Will's not giving it up yet.
Nope.
So,
He
yeah.
didn't change his tyres. Joe got
I've just seen that. Let's have a look. No, he didn't change his tyres. He just put the fuel in.
I wonder if he needed a little bit extra fuel.
Here we go, Ferrari on Ferrari action.
Yep.
And
these two are used to racing each other.
They are. If there's two guys that will run side by side without much problem, it's these two.
Yep.
And Aaron's put up a pretty good defence there.
He has,
but
yeah.
I don't know how long he's going to be able to maintain
it.
it.
He can do it, the more tyre wear Pagani's going to end up using, which will play into Aaron's hands.
That's exactly it.
Going to get it done.
So Pagani needs to get this done as quickly as possible and put some distance between himself and Aaron. And
I think those tyres are they're just going to see it. Lovely move there from Pagani. Aaron shouldn't give it up though, because at the end of the day, Pagani's tyres are going to wear quicker. It's just whether they're going to drop off a cliff before the end of this race.
Yeah. Well, Graham and T. Smith doing battle over P5.
And looking at the minimap, I notice that gap between Chubbs and Witchell looks like it's coming down.
Yeah, well, Chubbs did a 2:09.2 last lap compared to Witchell's 2:09.6. Now, has Chubbs had a mistake on this lap? Let's see what the lap times tell us. Yeah, 2:10 this lap for Chubbs. And 9.5 for Witchell. So I think Chubbs has probably run a little bit wide somewhere. So you touched on it earlier with the GT21 stuff. I think one of the big things about it is the fact that we have generated enough interest to go to a third tier.
We have indeed. Yeah, so we've now got GT3. It's for the kind of guys that are a little bit slower than the GT2 boys, and for anybody that's kind of a little bit new to the game or at least new to league racing. So we've got a full grid. I'm actually racing in both GT2 and GT3 this season. And we'll be driving around in the Jaguar Group 4s. We've got some really exciting tracks in the calendar. We've got some fan favourites. You know, Dragon Trail Seaside is a personal favourite of mine, and we end the season at that, so that's going to be great fun. Yeah, so we'll be doing that on Wednesday nights. So all three divisions, so GT3, GT2 and GT1 will be starting the week after, on the Wednesday the week after next. So I believe, let me double check what the date is.
I think it works the 13th, 14th, 15th.
Yep, exactly, yep. So the 13th it will be, sorry, no, the date was the 12th, the 13th and the 14th.
12th,
yep.
13th, 14th, yep.
So GT3 starts on the 12th of July, GT2 starts on the 13th, and GT1 will come back on the 14th, Friday. The start time for all the races will still be 8:30 UK time. They'll all be streamed on YouTube. We've got commentators for all of them, it's just great to see. We've had an influx of people coming into FTRL, and with the new merger with Bristol Street Motors with Accelerate, it's nothing but exciting times for us.
Yep, next season promises to be very special. Yeah,
the amount of effort that the admin guys have put into coming up with the idea for GT21, as well as the GT3 championship as a standalone thing. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It's been a really busy couple of weeks, but it's all going to be worth it when it all kicks off in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah, excited.
Big development in the Ferrari battle. Aaron has lost a position to Will.
Oh, I wish my maths were quick enough that I could work it out.
Field's pretty well spread at the moment. Tom and Graham look to be about the closest cars on track, although Aaron's about the same distance to Will.
Yeah, I wonder whether Aaron's tyres are just starting to give him a little bit of grief.
Right on cue, huge slide out of the left-hander off the bridge. Seems to be a favoured spot for that Ferrari. Although there is quite a big bump on the exit of that corner, so it's enough to unsettle these cars a bit.
A few of the drivers mentioned that this week. Yes, Connor, I will be going for P11 in all three divisions in a single week. I'll go down in FTRL history for that. So the teams for GT21 have already been drawn out as well. There are some really, really quick teams. It all looks like it's going to be very tight come the end of the season. So the way we worked it out was that the GT1 and GT2 pairings were made by the drivers themselves. So I approached Simon, and me and Simon are now going to be GT2 teammates next season, which will be good fun. And then after that, the admin team then looked at the various pairings that were made up by the drivers themselves and worked out the fastest and the slowest in each, and essentially tried to balance out the teams as much as we possibly could to give us give every team equal chance to reach that Grand Slam final, that Grand Final. Now it was a lot more difficult than what we anticipated it to be, because a lot of the pairings are very similarly paced anyway. But I think the four-man teams that we've got are ridiculously quick and they're ridiculously close. So yes, Connor, I'm going to regret. I know I was going to regret sending you that photo, and never again. Can Lee catch Witchell? What's the gap between Lee and Witchell? Second and a half and a couple of laps. I think his tyres are done. If I'm honest, I think Lee probably wants to make sure he just maintains P3 right now.
Yeah, Lee looks more at risk of being caught by Ishmael at this point as he does to catching Witchell.
Yeah. Chubbs, you're just over half a lap away. You can do this. Oh no, you're not going to be almost a second, a lap.
He's
yeah.
1 lap. Chubbs is
yeah.
1 mistake-free lap from a GT1 victory.
Yep.
Everyone looks fairly nailed on for their positions, barring any mistakes or issues.
Chubbs is on the final lap. What a drive this has been from him. It's been such a good lap. Keep going. Keep your head down. It could be a tasty battle between Lee and Ishmael for the final podium position. Two seconds of the gap. If you need to, Chubbs, take a couple of corners easy. Don't overdrive. You're good. Lee Carl's been ridiculously consistent over the last 7 or 8 laps.
To be fair, I was looking at Chubbs and Mitchell's times. They have been too.
Yeah.
We've said it in the past in these streams that sometimes it's not about being fast; it's about being consistent.
I was about to say I think that's what separates some of the GT1 boys from
Lee's under big
GT2
threat.
He is.
So to go defensive.
Defensive inside.
Taking the blue flag line.
He has.
Chubbs only has 2 corners to negotiate. That's one of them.
Final bend. Chubbs. Well,
rubs the wall.
Out the wall. Oh, you want to give it a nice...
he's fine.
Well played, Chubbs. Bravo,
Chubbs
sir.
takes victory in the final race of GT20. Mitchell second.
Chubbs.
Ishmael's got Lee. What's happened to Lee?
Oh no, Lee.
Lee finishes 5th.
Yeah.
And
Lee's front left was absolutely dying.
Yeah, well, as Tom crossed the finish line, he punctured one of his rear tyres. Pagani ended up P8 in that. Panda 9th, Aaron 10th.
I've got a feeling Pagani may just have the bragging rights by a point. Obviously that's to be confirmed, but I think it might be just by a point. There is a chance it could be actually a dead heat, but I think it might be just that 1 point by Pagani. But another really interesting race and a great one to finish off the season. Lee's in our Discord. I am stupid. Yep. Absolutely brilliant result there for Chubbs. So pleased for him. He's had the running gag all season of a lap 1 spin, but it didn't spin on that one, mate, and you got your win. Absolutely fully deserved. Great drive.
It's got to be said, it's a strong return for Ishmael in the GT3s.
Yeah. Again, another one to look out for next season. I mean, when was the last time you saw the likes of T. Smith, Aaron, and Pagani all outside the podium positions? I think next season's going to be a lot tighter in GT1 than it has been for quite some time. And there you have it.
Indeed. So that's GT20 done and dusted. So we will now take a fortnight's break. We'll be back for our brand spanking shiny new 3rd tier to kick us off for GT21. So
we will indeed.
once again, congratulations to tonight's winners.
Yeah, and to Tom Smith for the championship.
Yeah, we'll gloss over that. It's boring.
Yes.
No, seriously, congratulations, Tom. Another strong season.
Yep. I think Tom's expecting a challenge next season.
I think he's going to get one.
Yep, I do too.
I think
GT21 promises to be one of the best seasons, if not the best season we've had. Like I say, I've been here for 4.5, 5 years, I think, this summer, and I think this really could be the best GT season we've had.
Yep, I've been here from the go, and I think the grids that we've got, even GT2, are stacked.
Yep, absolutely.
So
nice one.
Well, thank you for joining me, Mike.
No worries.
And thank you everyone in the stream. Remember, if you haven't done so, please smash the like button.
Yep. Subscribe if you haven't.
And yeah, join us on the 12th of July for GT21. Until then, we'll see you.